Sorry, camera only times for 15 minutes, so I'm not sure where it ended. So yeah, we had to drink like 15 of these, and so we pounded like 4 of them into us right quick, and after that you start kind of getting bloated, like you really bloated, so you kind of started slowing down and drinking them. Around like 6 or 7 other people, you know, they started getting the water flowing, going to the bathroom a lot. Myself, I didn't end up using the bathroom until the 10th glass, so like my stomach was like, you know, I looked like I was pregnant, I was super bloated, like I was feeling like super sick, and then I was starting to think like, wow, fuck, maybe I have like a lot of like toxins that I didn't really detox, because like for the last week up to the session, I've been eating just vegan, you know, and cutting out any products that aren't organic, you know, and just eating really healthy, and I wasn't doing it as long as like my friend Ricky, nutritionist. So when he started, he ended up starting to cleanse a lot sooner. And then he was like actually kind of done, but he kept drinking the water for like emotional support for me. So that was cute of him, it was nice of him. And so anyways, we're on the 10th glass, boom, shootout, water's coming out now, and it's like, I don't mean to be gross about it, but you pretty much want to strap yourself to the toilet. And but by the end of it, I thought I was going to be like really weak and tired, but I absolutely felt amazing. Like I felt so good. It was really like, it just kind of I wasn't expecting it. So after we all did that, that's when we met everybody that we were doing the ayahuasca with, and so after that you still eating clean. We went and ate vegan, and so then we had to be up at like 8 or 9 in the morning the next day, and then we had to fast all day. We couldn't even you had to fast all day. All I could drink was water, and so they pick us up in Cusco. That's like an hour drive to where the retreat is. So we're sitting, when we get in the car with them, they have a thing called Noble Silence. So the Noble Silence is you don't talk during the whole retreat, because most of the work that happens with ayahuasca is it's internal. You know, and you're laying there, you're thinking a lot, and you're releasing within. It's like you're finding answers within yourself. So when we all get in the car, I knew with the Noble Silence at the retreat, I wasn't expecting it in the car right away. So we sat in the car, and then we all had to be dead quiet through the whole retreat. So then we drive an hour to Taray, T-A-R-A-Y. I don't know if I say it right, but we traveled there. And what was cool about this journey is this was like, Cusco was like a downtown city, and there's like a lot of, I guess, there's more money there and there's more nice built stuff. So when we went through the cities through Taray, you seen some of like the poorer citizens of Peru and how their homes were, and you're kind of like, wow, man, this country could really use like some help, in the sense that they have all these beautiful culture. There's so much like beauty and so much amazing stuff there, but yet they seem to be lacking just in a lot of the basic stuff. Another just weird quick thing that came to my mind, the sewage system is really old in Peru, so it's probably like this in other countries too, I heard, but when you can't flush toilet paper, so anytime you poop, you have to like, you wipe yourself and throw it in a garbage can. And I was thinking like, these bathrooms are gonna be disgustingly stinky whenever you walk into any of them, but really surprisingly, the bathrooms weren't bad at all. You couldn't, like, they didn't reek like shit basically when you're in them. So we finally arrived to the retreat, and very beautiful retreat, like surrounded by mountains wherever you look, just these huge mountains. So it's like, it's kind of breathtaking. Wherever you're at in this retreat, you're like, fuck, this place is amazing the way it looks. So they showed us around, they showed us like where we were doing the ayahuasca, they showed us our rooms, this and that. Me and Ricky lucked out. They put us in like our rooms with just me and him. Usually they have 3 people to a room, but they put me and Ricky in a room, just me and him. So that was really well, because me and him got to talk a lot, just personally, about how our journeys were with us, and like, we've been friends for years, so it was a really good, it was really good that we could have that private situation where we could just really talk about how our experiences were. So after we got settled in and dropped our bags off, so at this point too, we're not eating at all, and so it turned out we didn't get to eat until the next day at breakfast. So it turned out to be like 36 hours before we ate, when we did our first ayahuasca, because that night we did the ayahuasca. So before the ceremony that night, we all meet together, and they explain the Inca religion, and then they explain, we do a few ceremonies. So they have they're big on the coca leaves down there, and they have a coca leaf that's like, it's like in a 3, so it's like 1, 2, 3. They spread them out like that, and it's also symbolic of the Inca cross. So it's like the upper world, the middle world, the lower world, symbolized by a condor, a cougar, and a snake. So the same kind of deal. It's like the upper, the middle, and the lower. 4 elements. You know, I mean, each one of these points on each side just represents something too. I don't remember all of them, but so it was really interesting. So they teach us about that, and then we do a ceremony with the Andean priest, the guy who gave me this hat, who I bought it from, and they call it a unification of energies. So we just kind of like, we all stood outside in a circle, and we all put in our intentions. We prayed to like the sun, the moon, the mountains, and like ayahuasca, what we'd like for her to teach us and show us. And he said a lot of prayers. He said them in Spanish, so I couldn't understand them, but he said a lot of prayers around us, and he had a lot of like flowers, and he was like swooshing, like cleaning energy off us, cleansing us, and filling us full of good energy. So we all did that, and so then that was like, then we just all got to relax for the day before we went and did our first ayahuasca experience. But what was a little bit shitty about, I guess, this first one is when we showed up to the retreat, there's like, they were having a music festival in their city. Like, it's like the retreat's like here, and there's like a city over here, and it's like basically you go through a gate and you're in a city, but this is like a fenced off retreat. So it was like a music festival kind of. They had like one stage, they had big speakers on it, and it was just bumping music. But they were playing music like all night and day till 6 in the morning. Like, it just didn't stop. But what made it kind of hard and annoying was all of it was like in Spanish, and just the way they played music, it all just started to sound really repetitive, started to sound the same, and it was just like blasted nonstop right into the night. So the first time we did the ayahuasca, we did it at 5 o'clock, which is supposed to do it at 8 at nighttime, so it was kind of a day session, but this music was playing the whole time, so it made it kind of hard. It was like we call it an anchor. It was kind of hard to go off and journey, like through your mind or a different dimension or whatever, and because with all this music playing, you know, I mean, it was kind of like, at first I didn't really mind it, but it was just, we had like 2 days of it, and there was a point when I was trying to sleep, and this music was just blasting and blasting and blasting, and it was just like, it was kind of torturous, is the best way to put it. So so back to the first ayahuasca session. So what they do is they give you like a yoga mat. You get like a sleeping bag. It's kind of like a cocoon sleeping bag, so you slip your feet in, you can pull the thing over. You have a pillow, and then you also have a big wool blanket at the bottom of your feet if you get cold enough and you need it. So, and then you have a bucket right next to you. You bring a 2 liter of water, and you bring a roll of toilet paper with you. Then you can bring whatever else you want with you. So I brought a lot of crystals and just like spiritual trinkets, things that I want to charge up with my energy from that session or during the session. So we're all sitting down like in a U shape like this, and the shamans and the helpers are on the other side. Oh yeah, so sorry, before we got into the session too, we all met with a doctor and we all met with psychologists, and they asked us about, like, you know, why you want to come do ayahuasca, what things have been bothering you, from drug addictions, emotional, you know what I mean, physical problems. You know, they just kind of gave like an overcap of why you want to do this and what you hope to get from it. And then they gave their professional opinions. You know, and the doctor checked vitals and said, hey, you're healthy, you're this, you're that, you know what I mean, just spoke with you, said, hey, you're good to go for the ayahuasca. The psychologists, they just kind of asked more about, you know what I mean, they asked, like, are you happy, how's your life, this and that. They just asked, like, I guess you could say the normal psychologist kind of things, therapist stuff. But what was really interesting about it, they were actually helpers. So a helper would just be like, say you're gonna puke, you know, you're gonna puke for sure. Mostly everybody pukes. A few people didn't. So like when you puke, it's like you're puking from the depths of your soul. It's like, it comes out. But like you're high on ayahuasca at this point, and you know everything's kind of going crazy. So a helper comes over and they'll like rub your back if you're puking hard. They'll get some toilet paper and they'll give you the toilet paper. You know, you wipe yourself off, put it down, and then you open up. They'll open up the water for you and give you water, and you chug some water. So it's really easy that you can just like, you don't have to be trying to think of everything. You're just kind of focusing on puking and keeping your composure. But these guys are giving you what you need to feel good again. So they were really good on that. So the psychologists came in to be helpers on our session, And a big dream of mine would always, I believe ayahuasca's, I believe any psychedelics used in the right kind of manner are extremely powerful tools for therapy. So I've always been interested in this stuff. They changed my life immensely. It's part of the reasons why I'm going to school. Like, I'm on Dalhousie campus right here, right now. A big dream of mine would be to study psychedelics professionally, you know what I mean, and offer these to the world, you know, and show them how powerful these are. So what I found really interesting was the psychologists were in the session with us as the helpers. So like before the session started, I'm looking over and I'm seeing them, and I'm like, man, this could be me in a few years. Like, I could be here studying this stuff, you know, doing clinical trials, and you know, and putting a face to the whole ayahuasca, or bringing the knowledge of ayahuasca to North America. That's a real dream of mine. So anyways, we're all sitting there, and the shamans are across from us. So of course at this point you're like, you know, you're getting anxious. You're like, holy shit, man, I'm actually in Peru. I'm going to do ayahuasca. These shamans are here. I can't believe this is all coming true. Like, this is nuts. So we're sitting there, and then they have essential oils, and like they have a few little ceremonies of what they do for everybody before you start. So they go around with like a little pot of dirt, a little pot of water. So you take a pinch of dirt, you put it in your hand, take a pinch of water, put it in your hand, and you make mud, and you put it through your hair, and you put it all down your body. You know, it helps keep you grounded and protected. And then they come through with, they have these two different essential oils. I forget what kind of flowers they were, but they smell really good. Anyways, one was yellow, one was orange, and you put your hands out like this, and you squirt them in your hands to do it up. And the same thing, you always go from top to bottom. So this would be for cleansing your aura. So you put it all over yourself, over your whole body, you know, like from head to toe, you cover yourself in this. And then, so they go around and do that to everybody. So everyone gets all cleansed up like that, and then they write everybody's name on the cup, just a little solo cup basically. That's where the ayahuasca comes in. They write everybody's name on the cup because the shaman chooses the dosage for everybody. So everybody gets different sized doses, you know what I mean? Like, there's like some big guys, like the heavier guys, they would get like full cups, but sometimes the guy who got the full cup didn't even sleep that night. He was there the whole night after we left.